Who's the most dangerous human alive right now? My cousin Randy posts a lot of pictures on Facebook of skeletons riding motorcycles and stuff with captions about how loyal he is, but if you betray him he can be your worst nightmare, so probably him. I am also gonna go with Randy. Yeah, Randy sounds like a bad dude. We should just all agree in hopes that he doesn't get mad at us. I for one, welcome our new skeletal, hell-bent for leather, Overlord Randy. Don't blame me, I voted for Randy. Oh, I'd bet a lot of military labs have a kinds of samples/creations etc. that could destroy the world's population. And quick. This could be completely false. But I do remember hearing once upon a time about a base in Antarctica that houses all the known viruses and stuff in the world. Or something to that effect. Again, this could be completely false lol. Edit, I am aware that I confuse Antarctic with Arctic lol. I was almost positive I had that wrong. I've also been made aware that I may be thinking of the seed bank and not a disease vault. Thanks for the knowledge, guys. I don't know about Antarctic labs, but the CDC has several labs that hold samples of terrible diseases. They're called high containment labs. You. Inside each of us is an entire world. Like it or not, ultimately that world is created by your brain. The only person with anything resembling direct access to that brain is you. When you love and live with intention, you slowly build up that world. When you get wasted, you also slowly move that world in another direction. So it's ultimately you that controls not the world, but how you react to it, and in so doing continuously shape your own world. Also Randy. Then what's outside? Living in a subjective reality. John Jones. I often wonder how much Jones benefited from the fact that he absolutely got bullied throughout his childhood by his three brothers, one being a Super Bowl-winning defensive tackle, the other a Super Bowl-winning defensive end on the 2010s NFL All-Decade team. There's getting big brothered, and then there's getting big brothered. He's always been a better wrestler than me, he's always better than me. I've never been a team captain. He's been a team captain at everything, the football team, the wrestling team. Since day one, he's been a leader. He's just gifted. He just has timing, and body coordination, and light feet. Everything. From the bad man himself. He said that pretty recently Chandler was sitting down and John grabbed his wrists trying to keep him sat down and he nearly lifted him off his feet with his wrists alone while sitting down. Someone said the most dangerous human is someone unknown. Or it will be someone everyone underestimated and blew off. I am terrified regarding Putin and Israel's entire government, but somehow think there is someone else. When I was in high school, I interviewed my grandma about WW11. She lived in England. She made a comment that I still remember. Everyone thought Hitler was a silly little man who shouted too much. And wouldn't amount to much. WW11. Your grandma is from the future. Survived the Time Wars. Just a child in World War X, but bore the brunt of World War XI. Fortunately they used binary in that previous timeline. Klaus Schwab. Through the WEF he has a ton of influence on society. He has a prestigious billionaires club that if you don't fall in line you aren't in it. The ability to sway billionaires and politicians is a dangerous weapon. Finally, an actual response. Joe Biden. And before him, it was Trump, then Obama, then Bush. No other person who has lived in the last 80+ years has had the potential to cause more destruction and death than a sitting US president. There are checks and balances there. The system isn't perfect, but it does provide some sort of throttle. I'd be more worried about random multi-billionaires, e.g. Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg. There are checks and balances there. Not really. The U.S. president has the sole, unilateral authority to authorize a nuclear strike. No other authorization is required, and no one has the legal authority to stop it. Having said that, there are, obviously, others in the chain of execution. For example, the SEC staff must verify that the order is authentic and originating from the president, but there are no others in the chain of authorization. Presumably, the U.S. military would refuse to execute a clearly illegal order, e.g. attack Cleveland, but beyond that, again, just legally speaking, there are no impediments nor checks on that authority. It rests entirely with the president. If the order is legal, authentic, and everyone does their jobs, the missiles fly. Some reading on the subject. Putin. There are several countries in the world with enough nuclear weapons and political influence that they could theoretically instigate WW3. Many of the leaders of these countries also have the ability to decide how to use these weapons without getting the approval of their subordinates. Putin is, however, in a unique situation in which he has access to an unknown number of nuclear weapons, but more importantly is without an exit strategy. Most world leaders have no reason to escalate to nuclear war as it would threaten their position. Several years ago, Kim Jong-un was a topic of discussion because of this, but ultimately hasn't started any conflicts as he is in a relatively stable position of power. Putin is the most dangerous human alive because he could feasibly cause nuclear war and is losing reasons to avoid doing so. Xi Jinping, a megalomaniacal, messianic communist fuck dictator of the second largest economy and the largest, but untested, army in a growing nuke program who desires to upset world order by taking over Taiwan, which will likely cause WWII. Putin is not as dangerous as this tool because Russia has the slight potential for regime change to be pro-West/freedom. China has no such potential. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.